Hello, I am Gregory Gill, a creative partner at Martlet Games. The first tabletop RPG I was exposed to, it's kind of hard to really remember. It was either D&D or a Call of Cthulhu. Uh, as that time period gets a little muddied because it was over 10 years ago at this point. Let's see. Favorite game line. Vampire is definitely reaching up to be one of my favorites just because I've been playing it more frequently lately. 10 Candles is also really fun as kind of like a divergent from the kind of status quo. But there's nothing like getting down and having some really big goofs with a decent D&D party. Let's see. What game I've played the most? I mean, at this point, it's basically a tie between D&D and Vampire because, while I played D&D in the past, the times were few and far between. I never really had a consistent party to play with. We'd, get probably 10 sessions in at the most, and things would kind of fall apart and go this way or that way. And I've probably have put that many sessions into Vampire so far over the course of the past couple of years or so, and yeah, I gotta say it's pretty much a tie between Vampire and D&D. What game I want to play more of? This is going to go a different direction. I'd say it's going to be a tie. It's going to be 10 Candles, just because that game is a riot and a mind trip, and it's such a different creature altogether. And then I would say D&D because, well, I have an amazing time playing Vampire. I like to play D&D a little more just because of the blatant goofs you can get involved in, whereas Vampire, while you can have fun and kind of do some goofy things, there's consequences for it. Whereas in D&D, like, oh yeah, you can put explosives inside of a donkey and not have anyone really bat an eye if you can justify it happening. Let's see, what I love about RPGs, it's the escape. Just being able to kind of get into someone else's mind and really develop that character and exploring all the places you want to take that character, because it always takes a few sessions to really kind of get what that character is that you create is all about and really understand what that character is and who that person is. And it's just it's like just the thought process and creativity of it all. My biggest tabletop pet peeve, hands down, are insane, over-the-top rules lawyers. A little story, back in my college days, I was playing D&D, and I ran across a group of people playing D&D, and I started talking to them like, I'd like to join with you. It's been a while since I've played, and it was like, sure, the next game session, come join us. So I did. I grabbed my dice set and my freshly made character sheet, went down and played with them, and the dungeon master is like, you can't use that D20. I'm like, why? It's like it's a spin die. It's like one of the 20-sided dice you get with a deck of magic cards. I'm like, well, it's still a 20-sided dice. And he's like, no, you can't use that. It's like, okay, well, do you have dice I could use? Because this is literally the only D20 I have. and he begrudgingly gave me a D20 to play with, and like, that was the one and only session I ever played with them, because like, no, I could just tell right away, like, it was not going to be a fun group of people to play with. So yeah, over the top rules lawyers are just, they're a joy kill. Favorite part of the tabletop game design process, I mean, it goes back to character creation, you know, like kind of really sitting there thinking of the different abilities you can give characters, some of the how those characters can interact with the world that they, you know, will be played in, and just kind of coming up with the, like, all those different little intricacies that really give the player, you know, the creative power to kind of come up with what they want and still make it fit into the world that you're building.